Hey. Hey, everybody, I'm back. It's been weeks. I was out of the country, and I've been playing with amps, and I got sick while I was out of the country. And boy, just lots of stories. So I'm just getting started here. So, in case you're watching the recording, hey. I'm just getting started, and so I'm playing the very earliest stage of a new prototype amp that 65 is making, the new version of 65 version 2, right? So it is a variation of an amp we actually made about 18 years ago for Richie Sambora. And I'm playing my Gibson, so that means I have to tune a lot. I'd love for someone from Gibson to hook me up. So, actually they did, that Junior, they gave me a great deal. I just got to figure out how to make this guitar stay in tune. It's kind of crazy. So I brought my pedal board in so I could show you a couple things, because an amp, this has more gain. And one of the first questions everyone's going to ask is, how well does it do with pedals? So I'm going to try to show you that. And we can do it together. So on my pedal board, I have a UA 1176 compressor, a Barber direct drive. Many thanks to David Barber. I called him and said, I wrote him a note. Said, hey, I need a good Marshall sounding pedal for my pedal board for the show, and he sold me this at cost. He was really nice. He wrote me a nice note and everything. Really sweet guy. So yeah, I called Peter and said, hey man, what's your favorite drive thing going on right now through your old Marshalls? And he said, I did the Barber direct drive is my thing. So that's what I'm using. I took his word for it. And then I got a Source Audio booster called the Zeo down here. And then I have the UA Orion, which is their Tape Echo copy. And then after that, I have the UA Heavenly Reverb pedal. So that's all I would ever use. This is probably actually more pedals than I would ever use, but I just thought for demo purposes. We'll go through it today. But anyway, I'm sure you want to hear that. So this is actually the lower gain channel. What is going on out here? We got dog noise. Crazy. Anyway, I see there's some people on. Coming on good. It's really nice. I appreciate it. Just going to take my time till we kind of get a quorum here. So this amp, let's go back into the details of it. This amp is an amp. It's loosely based on an amp we made 18 years ago for Richie Sambora. And its shop nickname was Mr. Ridiculous, because it's got a lot of gain, but it's not crazy. It's not like heavy metal. We're not doing like Dietzel and Bogner level gain. It's a lot of gain for us. And so the platform, the chassis that we used was an old Rocket 88. And this is actually running on KT88s right now. So the original amp would have been like 55, 60 watts. This is intermediate step towards the high current, low voltage thing. Right now it's running at about 35 watts with reduced voltage and increased current. So I'm flooding these tubes with current. They're really happy. The KT88s are not a very viable tube for any voltage over about 400 volts. So right now these are running at 290, 300, something like that. Ultimately, with the new power transformer we're going to put in, I'm going to be able to run them down as low as 160 volts and still make them work right. So the other prototype that we're building sounds great. It's just not ready for show yet. So I just wanted to show you. Now this is just literally, I wouldn't call it the clean channel. It's the lower gain channel. Got it about halfway up. It gets some nice crunchy dirt. I'll throw the Barber direct drive on top of it. booster. So that's how I kind of made my living for a long time. I just had a booster and a little bit of tape echo here. Not so much for these big, long, trailing echoes, you know. It was just for body, you know, a little bit. So let me go over to the dirty side. Right here. This is more of, you know, what you think of British amps. Gain's not up that high. That's about half, right? I can go a lot dirtier than that. Thank you, Josh Manfredini. That is just the dirty side. I should have hooked up a foot switch, but I'm a moron. There's a bunch of variables back here. Like I can adjust the bias. This is a prototype amp, right? So I can adjust the bias on it and do some other stuff. I've just got it kind of set. I'm just kind of see that it works. Take the echo off. What do you guys think? This is early stage, trust me. Like this is alpha stage, not even beta yet, right? The next step is to put in our new power transformer. This was just to make sure the circuit's happy. We dropped some voltage on. Hey, Randy, amp sounds good. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, I'm well. I'm doing better. I still got a little bit of a cough here and there, but you know what? Such is life. I hope you're doing well, you and your lovely bride. Yeah, the amp's getting there. Like I said, it is not done. It is not done at all. I gotta get this nut worked on again. Why do I abuse nuts so much? Why is it? Because I play like an orangutan? I know. Hey, Justin, sounds incredible. Oh, thanks, Justin. Man, that's really nice. Nice to hear from you, man. I haven't heard from you a long time. I hope you're well. We should definitely reconnect. I'm back into business. There's my border collie. You know, look out the window. That's still not right. I'm going to take this over to Michael to Temple and have him make it right. I just beat guitars up. This guitar is 19 years old now. I got it for my 40th birthday. Oh, Don Loud. Hey, buddy. Good to see you. He says, it goes without saying that I find this awesome. Well, great. Thank you, man. Yeah, I need to just get some love on this guitar. I am not, you know, I can throw in pickups. I can set up bridges. I'm good at polishing frets. You know, like all that kind of really next level stuff. But the one thing that always kind of freaks me out is nuts. every time I've messed with a guitar nut, this nut's grabbing. Every time I've messed with a guitar nut, I screw it up. So now I have PTSD. I'll put some Big Ben's nut sauce in this, which is really not good. Just turns into a big booger in your guitar. But Scotty Bratcher says, I've already heard enough. I want one. All right. I can hook a brother up. So like I said, this is the lower gain side. It's a really good vintage sound to me. And when you go over to the more, cranked up. I like a little bit of slap back on there. Now, if you go all staccato, it sounds a little rockabilly. But if you're actually just playing guitar, maybe the mix is a little heavy. Let me dry it up just a bit. Just straight in, no pedals. Got Montrose on the brain today, sorry. You know that Montrose's first record? Hey, Knut Berger, how are you, buddy? Good to see you. That Montrose's first record was like one of the first records I got after I got a guitar when I was 12 years old. I think that record is like 1973 or something. I got a guitar in 1977. Again, this is not done. Don't judge yet. This is just the first literally alpha stage. Yeah, Randy, I'm going through the aux. Yeah. Oh, you couldn't get it. Did you call their customer service? They're really good. They're very helpful. If not, I know a guy I can hook you up with directly if that doesn't work. Thank you, JW. Yeah, it's alpha stage. I want you guys to keep coming back and help me get it right, every week. What I want to show you very soon is this going from this amount of power down to like 5 watts and still sound like a real amp. Not, a lot of these amps that have a 5-watt mode, when you get down there, it doesn't sound right. It doesn't feel right, that's for sure. They're good amps and nice things, but it's just not, you know what I mean? So I kind of like this back on both. Like if I go over here to the lower gain side, I do have a tone stack, Vince. So when I'm over here, it's just a treble and bass tone stack. And then when I go over to the dirty side, it's a bump circuit, which we have trademarked, which is a tone knob and a cascading set of resistors to set the gain level on there. So it's a little simpler. So if I take this, just lower gain side, and throw in this Barber direct drive. I don't have the direct drive up much at all. I'm not goosing this a bit. Just giving it some body, right? And I throw on the Source Audio Zeo booster. Hey, Don Feber, how are you, buddy? So if you're a pedal guy, I'm on the low gain side right now, just using the direct drive and a little bit of booster. Throw on a little echo. A little verb. Justin, use danboole@me.com. danboole@me.com. I should have that here on the banner, but I don't. Yeah, there's an EF86 in here. That's right. So it's an EF86 feeding a gain stage, a gain stage, a gain stage, and a cathode follower. They're not big gain stages. They're moderate boosts up, but it gives you really nice smooth distortion when you do that. It also helps you retain the character of that EF86. So that's just the lower gain side with that Barber direct drive. Any dirt pedal you have is good. I've been getting a lot of people asking me about, that's where the 1176 kicked in. Detail, right? A lot of guys asking me, pedals, man. I play a pedal board. You never play pedals. So I brought my pedal board. I got it out. I kind of built a new one, actually. So what's the output stage? It is a pair of KT88s right now. What I have here on my desk that I want to try soon are KT77s. We're going to kind of play around. So I really like KTs. I like kinkless tetrodes more than I like pentodes. They have a sort of wild quality to them where it sounds a little more open and free even when you're not going super dirt. Like that. I mean, I don't know, man. That's a really good vintage rhythm sound to me. I don't know about you think. Now I'm listening through headphones, so I think I'm probably getting a little more bass than you are because of that. But if you're listening on studio monitors, or you can listen through your earbuds, it's great stuff. AC/DC to free to 60 stuff to, just great rhythm sounds, right? But there you can hear there's a little bit of an edge to a KT88 that an EL34 doesn't have. And KT77s have that, KT66s have that. Not going into a tube lecture, but they're a tetrode. They're not a pentode, so they don't have a suppressor grid in it. And a suppressor grid keeps the tube acting very refined and elegant, You take it off, it's a little crazy. It's like taking the traction control off your car, right? You're going to slide around and do some fun stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of sounds. I'll go back over to the dirt, right? And I can turn the dirt down. Still dirty. If I turn it up, we can get... some sustain. Throw on a little verb, you got a good... Don't know that the tone stack's going to stay like this. Not for sure. Just saying, this is an early prototype. It's a proof of concept that I can drop the voltage on a pair of big tubes and make them sound correct. There's a whole lot of amps with low voltage on big tubes, but they don't sound correct. They still sound good. They just don't sound like, Go back here and go back to... I should call this the 60-70 switch, right? Direct drive. Nope. A little bit of boost. Again, this is just pedals on the lower gain side. Back off of the pedals. But now when you're down here, like, you can hear that it's a Les Paul, right? I mean, this is kind of I don't mean to sound like snobby or whatever, but like when I hear a lot of stuff, I'm like, that don't sound like a Les Paul. I mean, Strats and Tellys are so distinct. That sounds like a Les Paul. For those of you that are maybe under 50, you don't know what Les Paul's supposed to sound like. A lot of people don't. Hey, Randy, I'm glad you dropped by, buddy. Yeah, I'm happy to help you with the aux. I know those guys at UA. They're really nice. James Santiago, if you've probably heard of him. Really, really nice guy. Ridiculous guitar player, super gentleman. Anyway, back to Gibson sounds, right? I turned the direct drive on there. I could probably put it on heavier. That's the booster. So anyway, it's got some tweaking to do. I kind of think it's maybe too gainy on the gain side, or I need to have a wider range of gain on the gain side. Les Paul, man. I mean, a lot of amps, you really just don't hear that it's a Les Paul. You hear just kind of this big blop sound, you know, like big, strong. Never get tired of Chuck, man. This is it, Lars. I can make it cleaner. I've just got it where it's got a little edge on it. I mean, I can turn it down. A little verb. That was the 1176. Let's see if I can get a little more out of it before it starts to break up. Maybe a little bright. I've always listened, when I listen to these playbacks, the playback is really a lot brighter than what I'm hearing here. So pardon me if I'm ripping your eyebrows off. I kind of like a little more up here into the vintage rocks territory. Too much verb for that. Also, that sort of Les Paul sound is, you know, Jimmy Page, right? Listen to those records, they're not that dirty. Throw a little bit of direct drive on top of that. Give it just a little more drive. drive. Get it, man. That's what a Gibson's supposed to sound like. Anyway. Thank you, Rob Price. Good to see you, buddy. Go back over to Dirtville. Oh, that's middle position though, right? Yeah, that sound worked for me. I can play a rock and roll gig with that and a pedal board, let alone the dirty channel. A lot of that sounds to me like a 100-watt Marshall. How many of you guys, raise your hands, I can see you. Don't pretend like I can't. How many of you guys have ever played a late 60s, early 70s 100-watt Marshall? I own one. It's too damn loud for me to play. But and how many of you ever played it through two 412 cabinets at once? That's part of the reason I have hearing loss. But it's a special kind of sound. It's got a big, thick burp to it, you know. I'm hearing that in here in the headphones, at least. I'm kind of digging the foundation here. Like I say, it's not done. It's not finished. I'm giving you a peek behind the curtains. I'm digging these KT88s more than I thought I was going to. Where's my capo? I can play this correctly, right? If we're going to do Rolling Stones. Capo. Played a lot of 50 watters through a 412. Yeah, well, that's a good sound. Let's see. Got to be up here, 7th fret. That's a sloppy old vintage sound, but that's it, right? That is the sound. Neck pickup, blurbin. All right, enough of that. Let's go back over to some dirt action. It's really, really encouraging and friendly to the hands. Yeah? Turn the echo off, right? Rob Price, you had a V4? I had one of those for a minute. And man, was it loud. I went and bought that. You know, I'm from Central Missouri, right? And so a band from Champaign, Illinois, which is like, you know, college town next over into Illinois from Missouri, Champaign, Illinois, was REO Speedwagon. And they used to play at the hockey rink in my hometown, University of Missouri, all the time. And I went there one time, and I think I was 14, so it would have been like 1979. And they hadn't quite gotten superstars yet, so they were still playing smaller venues. And they always came over to Columbia because it was like, they grew up playing in Columbia. Champaign, Illinois, and Columbia, Missouri. I played in Champaign, Illinois 50 times growing up in Columbia. Anyway, I got to sit and talk with Gary Richrath. And he told me about his Ampeg V4s. They had those rocker switches on them with those mid-range controls, and you could make it sound like it was really funny amp. But Jesus Christ, was it loud. I think they ran on 6550s, right? It's just fucking holy crap, that's loud. I sold mine after a year because I couldn't take it. Let's see, turn that down. Yeah, it needs a little work. Justin Charbona says, will this be a larger format head? No, it'll be our kind of mid-sized one. Any idea on how long the process from prototype to market will be? Well, let me tell you what's going on. That's a great question and a good moment to just take a breath. So this prototype is a proof of concept. And we get the next version out at low volume, right? High current, low voltage. That's when we'll get our funding. So the sooner I get funding, the sooner I can ramp up, right? It takes money. I got to get a shop. I got to buy parts. I got to hire a couple guys. It's not a very nimble process. So sorry about that. But so I'm hoping we can get this functioning how I want it to in less than a month. And it's all about fitting into other people's schedules right now because I don't have a staff. I don't have a crew. I'm relying on the good graces of other people. People who want to be involved down the road and are donating some time and goodwill so that we can continue together as we get going. But right now, I'm not very, I'm sticky and slow. My guy, Mike, who you guys all know, he had to move his shop, unfortunately, too. So he's kind of out of the loop for a while. So he gave me this and saying, hey, man, this works. It sounds good. Tell me what you think. After all of our conversations, this is what he did. I think it's pretty good. I think we're starting out on third base with this. There's not much left to do. So that's not really answering your question, though, is it, Justin? From the time we get our funding and start building, I think it'll be 4 to 6 months after that. There's a lot to do, when you start a company. I have to get legal. I have to get inspections. I have to, it's just a lot of work. I could just bootleg some amps out the door, but that's not really smart in Los Angeles. If I were out in the sticks, I could probably get away with that pretty well, but not around here. Department of Equalization, Board of Equalization, it's tax authority here in Los Angeles County. They like to get their taste, and they're pretty aggressive about it, which is fine. You know what? I wouldn't be successful. I wouldn't have all the luxuries that I have if I didn't live in LA County. So I'm happy to pay the door charge for that. It's fine. I'm not complaining. But it is a thing. It does take time. Got to get all legal. Got to get set up. I have to get business insurance. I need workers' comp insurance for employees. And I got to rent a shop and get shelving and benches and equipment. And, it's all kind of a thing. And I got to get a supply chain built up. I got to get all the parts I need in, which, the simplest amp we used to make, I think I had 17 vendors for the simplest amp we made. And they all have different lead times. They all have different payment terms. It's it's unfortunately, it's more work than you think. Once you get going, that's right, 7027s. Yeah. That's right, Rob, I forgot. It's literally been 45 years since I owned that amp. Yeah, 7027s, that's right. Anyway, so Justin, thanks for the enthusiasm, and stay tuned. Like, I'll be here playing it. And then once I get a shop, all you guys that are local or coming through town or whatever, come on over. I don't know if anybody ever came to my old shop. It was wide open door. We had a full band set up in there. You could jam. I had a PA and a drum set and, all that stuff, and microphones. And we used to play music a lot. And the acts that played 65 whenever they came through town liked to play on TV shows mostly. Jimmy Kimmel and Ellen and The Tonight Show, and a lot of stuff like that. They're really close to where I live and where the new shop. Yeah, still under the brand 65. I've always owned the brand. I never sold any of the company or the brand. I just licensed it. Never sold a bit of it. So we're close to all that stuff. We're in the belly of the beast. Oh, right on. Ray Cobley, thank you. Alpha Stage sounds like Page's tone live at the Summit Houston 77. Hey, that's a nice compliment. Thank you. Yeah, I like the Page stuff. That's my home base. What we were just doing here, this kind of thing, to me sounds like a Les Paul. This is, hold on, got me muted down here. Put a little more bottom end into it. That is what a big old Marshall sounds like, man. It's a big, thumpy, loud-ass amp. Post a link here, Raymond, if you want to. Booster on. Good vintage blues sound. Anyway, I dig it. We're there, man. Hey, Chris Clower, how are you, buddy? Even sounds nice on the iPhone. Hey, right on. Good to see you, Chris. How you been? Like I said, this is the low gain side. I'm just doing the goof off stuff. Little tiny slap back there. That's my whirly, man. Where are you on the tone dials, says George Lee. Treble is on 6. Hey! What are you doing? Stop that. Mailman comes every day, you morons. Treble is on 6. Bass, I just kind of jacked up to like 7 or 8 right there, but I'll just do a 6 and 6 here. Booster off. Just the amp with a little bit of slapback. Oh, you're in Charleston getting some rain? I'm sorry, man. You still got bad weather down there, huh? Yeah, my in-laws in Georgia got hammered. Over there near Atlanta. Over there. Out there. Around there with your mama and them. I'm going to go see Michael the Temple today. Michael, you know when you go to the sushi place and the chef says, what would you like? And you say, omakase, which means give me your best. Hit me. That's what I'm going to do with this guitar. It's 19 years of hard work, It needs a little bit of love. Both pickups? Sure, I was doing that earlier. Let's do that again. turn the echo off. Roll the neck pickup back a little bit for the page thing. And that's no pedals. That's just going in. I got it hot enough where I can, if I lay into the guitar, I can get some dirt, right? Man. Yeah, Chris. Yeah, there's some definitely. Robertson, the bandmaster bassman. You know, the early Marshalls overlapped with Fenders a lot, right? There's the Barber. I like that sound. It's just with the booster. Go on a little slap back. That's middle position, George. That's enough for you. If you need more, let me know. Back on the bridge. Pinch harmonics, man. I haven't tried that stuff since the 80s. What am I using for slapback? That is the UA Orion pedal. Yeah, Universal Audio Orion. Yeah, Raymond, you kind of beat me to the punch. Travis Reed, hey, bud, how are you? No, I do not have the Michael Burks Les Paul. I was donated. It's now in the Blues Museum. I thought that was a better place for it. Blues Museum down in Arkansas. It's there. You can go see it. I wish I had that guitar still. For two reasons. One of which, it was a great guitar, but it was nice to get a sense of being in touch with my friend Michael, who left us. Michael Burks, in case you don't know, amazing blues player, had an untimely heart attack and passed away really early. He was a customer of mine that we became really good friends. Sorry, my phone's going nuts. Really annoying. Leave me a voicemail, you bastards. But he had an R8 Les Paul. I call it a relic. He just played the shit out of it. And it had Tim White humbuckers in it, which are my favorite. Humbuckers tied for first with the Ron Ellis ones that I have in here. Tim White doesn't make humbuckers anymore. Ron still does. I think they're equally as good. They're a little different, but they're great. Anyway, so when Michael passed away, his manager sent the guitar to me and said, here, I think Michael you loved Michael, and I know Michael loved you, and he would be happy with you playing his guitar. And his manager, who I think bought the guitar for him, uh, said he couldn't even open the case without getting upset. He knew I'd take good care of it, and I did. And if it wasn't in my hands, it was in the case. I never left it out. And then after a while, Tim called me and said, "Hey, man, the Blues Museum is really cool, and they're doing a lot of stuff. How would you feel about that?" And I said, "I feel great about that. I think that's wonderful. People should be able to see Mike's guitar." But man, I miss it. It was really nice. I mean, a damn nice guitar. So, long answer to a short question. I do not have Michael's Les Paul anymore. It's in the Blues Museum. So, probably go to their website and see a picture of it. I haven't been there since I sent the guitar to them. I did get a thank you note. It was really nice. Everybody was really cool. It looks similar to this guitar, actually. Ed Wright, hey, bud. Owner of an early London Pro, 2010, 2000. Yeah, that is early. I love it. Use that all the time. I wasn't aware you were committed to building amps again. Happy to see. Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, I spent 8 years as a corporate consultant helping digital amp companies make their amps sound correct. And it's really fun. I learned a lot. I mean, I learned a lot of really cool stuff. And stuff I'm going to start incorporating into 65s eventually. Right away, we're just going to make some cool amps and then get back and get our feet wet again. But we have plans to start making, digital integration stuff. I think I've talked about it here, but I'll go into a lot more detail if you guys keep coming back. We're running out of time today. So I'm just going to turn the amp off. We're about done. Yeah. I got tired of it. And then I started just looking for jobs. And, I'll be 60 years old this summer. I'm 59 years old. I'll be 60 in August. And I'm going to say this without trying to sound like I'm getting up on the cross. But people don't hire people my age. So everyone around me, to all the guitars we loved before. Good job, Raymond. That's good. Good quote. I just got a haircut. I look like a little schoolboy. So everyone around me kept saying, "Dude, what are you doing? Like, you're an entrepreneur. You know how to make great products. Just go make products." And I was kind of scared too. The recession was rough. And then you guys remember I had heart problems. It was all from stress. I didn't have a heart attack. I caught it just in time, but I did have double bypass surgery. And then right when I was getting recovered from that, COVID hit. And that was traumatic. And then I had a disc put in my neck. I'm like, holy shit, I'm falling apart. So I was just kind of hesitant to do it. But I have some really good friends that are really well-known people in the music business and the music industry, who are all encouraging me, "Dan, just do what you do. You'll be fine." And then one of my customers approached me when I started talking about this on the web show, approached me and said he'd been waiting for an excuse to work with us for 15 years. And he knows how to round up money. Thanks, Raymond. That's really nice, man. That's great. That's very touching. I appreciate it. So we're just getting some prototypes together to prove to venture capitalists that we're worthy of some money. And we're going to raise a lot of money and build a nice company, a real company. Before it was sort of improvised and just kind of grew because things went really well. But we did improvise a lot. It grew a lot faster than we planned on it growing. And none of us had done this before. So we did make some mistakes. And then the recession hit, which blew our business model. We had a business line of credit. It was pretty simple. We would borrow money, buy parts, build the amps, get paid for the amps, pay the business line of credit off. It was really simple. And then that all went away when the recession hit. Banks quit doing normal stuff. And so I had to do a license deal to survive. That was a mixed result thing. They made really good amps. The amps are great, but wasn't a good fit. And that led to some hard issues. And here I am. But to tell you the truth, I'm really excited about this, and I'm really happy to do it. And I've got the old fire again that I haven't had in a long time. I got I don't know how to say it in English. There's a phrase in Latin. I got the shit kicked out of me. I don't know how to say that in English. Sorry. I got the shit kicked out of me a few times. And so I went to the safety of corporate work. I started working for Line 6 as a consultant in 2016. And they're great. I mean, really awesome people. Nice company. Working with Marcus Ryle especially, oh my God. I walked out his office every day going, man, I really learned how to be a nicer, smarter person today because of Marcus Ryle. Like, a genius. But he did retire. And then I did some work for Roland for a while, working on their digital amps, which I really like. They sound great. That Next Tone amp is incredible. It doesn't sell. I don't know why. It sounds better than the Katana. It's a little more expensive. It's not expensive, but it's a little more expensive, $200-300 more. If you need a knock-around amp to screw around in your house, or you got a kid that plays guitar, that Next Tone amp is killer. It's too complicated. It's got too many knobs and switches, but it sounds amazing. And I had a little bit to do with that. I really like it. That was all really fun. But Japan is going through an enormous recession right now. So all the Japanese companies cut off everybody. So here I am. And I love it. I'm feeling really good about it. I'm having a great time doing this. I had fun just playing this amp today. It's like, holy crap, that's a good amp. And we've made enough prototypes where you start to realize if it sounds this good, this early, we're on to something. It's going to be good. So what I want to show you next, it'll either be this amp with KT77s in it. 77s are kind of my favorite tube. I guess I'm going to try 66s as well. I have a lot of people telling me some really great sounding 66s out right now too. They cannot take voltage. So here you go, right? We're going to do low voltage, high current. So you can hear what these 88s are doing, just flooded with current. They're really happy. I mean, really happy. Like I haven't heard, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but that worked. That worked. It was good. I'm really happy for an initial outing. I've been playing it, here around the house. But when you're playing like under the lights, figuratively speaking, and with a little pressure on you, you have a different ear. You become more critical. And I'm pleased with this. So step one, and I'm really glad you guys were here to share it with me. That's really cool. I plan on including the public in this as much as I possibly can. It's way more interesting that way. And plus, you're not, believe in your own stuff. I don't have a diplomatic way to say it. Everyone likes the smell of their own stuff. So I want to hear comments. danbull@me.com. I'm all over Facebook. You can message me on Instagram. I'm not hard to find. I'm not one of those guys that locks down his profile. So you can message. I'd love to hear feedback, good or bad. This is an alpha stage prototype. So all comments are valuable. And so please, please, please feel free to share with me what you think. Your opinion means a lot to me. And, sometimes these amps are like your kids, right? You don't realize they have behavior problems until someone else points it out. So, hey, your kid cries a lot. Really? Oh, well, I guess so. So, help me out, would you? Anyway, I do need to go. I got some stuff to do. Really nice seeing you. Great turnout today. I really appreciate it. So I'm broadcasting now, or webcasting, on my Facebook page, the Fans of 65 Amps Facebook page, the 65 Amps Facebook page, my personal YouTube channel, and the 65 Amps YouTube channel. So whatever you're most comfortable. Eventually I want to try to get over to just YouTube, where I'm going to be posting a YouTube link On Facebook, Facebook is not storing the videos now they store them for like 8 weeks or something, whereas YouTube, is forever. So, oh, what do we got here, Randy? UA doesn't answer the phone. I don't know shit. Okay. Yeah. It's kind of all getting like that. Exciting time, says Paul Ovenstad. Well, thank you, man. Thank you, George. Thanks for the nice comments. Fun to have you here as well, man. And Ray Colby says, I look forward to what you got cooking. Absolutely love 65 amps. Thank you, sir. I like that a lot. That means a lot to me. So I'm just going to say to be continued, and we will keep going. I'll be back next week with hopefully a little bit of an evolution on this amp. There's a chance it might not be because Mike's moving, but we'll figure it out. What I'm really excited to share with you is the new power scheme when it's finished. This is an interim stage. So anyway, I love you fellas. If you got any comments or ideas or thoughts or suggestions, oh, Bob, wow, thank you, man. It says you're a stand-up guy all around. I'm lucky to have crossed paths with you as well as the old crew from lunch. Oh, cheers, Bob. That's really nice. Thank you, man. I'm humbled by that. Thank you. What's the best sounding tube-driven reverb unit, says Oswald Bates. That's a matter of opinion. I mean, I had a Brown Fender that I really liked. To be honest with you, they're kind of limited. They don't do much. They're kind of a one-trick pony. It's a great trick, but it's kind of a one-trick pony, So it's hard to say. A lot of opinion. I have this UA Heavenly pedal, and I can dial it up and make it sound like anything. Not afraid if the sound spectrum can be a little narrow, only crunchy sounds. Yeah, probably what I showed you today might be that. It's not going to be a big Fendery, clean, dumbly thing. This is kind of a rock and roll amp. We are going to make other amps that might be more focused on clean, but as you know, Lars, we never really were a clean amp company. It's not my jam. It's not what I do. I don't sit around and play clean amps. But we can certainly make them, and we probably will. It just won't be this one. There's going to be a lot more new amps. Don't worry. So if that's what you want to hear, I hear you loud and clear, and duly noted, and we'll get there. Anyway, I'm going to split, fellas. Great seeing you. Thanks for the nice turnout. Hey, Axel showed up just off the fitting. Oh, yeah, man, you missed it. You'll have to watch the recording, or we can catch up on the phone. Anyway, I love you fellas. I got to go. It's 12:58 here. I need to be out the door at 1. So to be continued. I'll see you next week. Take care, fellas. Thanks for your time.